Hi there, this is Unmesh from Piximperfect, and today I'm going to share with you how to create an action sequence photo using any video, given that the camera doesn't move much while taking that video with Photoshop. So without any further ado, let's get started. Back in the magical world of Explorer or Finder, and here I have an interesting video that I downloaded from Envato Elements. If you're interested, check the link in the description. If you look at the video, it's a skateboarder, skater, whatever you want to call it, skating pretty nicely. Now, as he skates, you can scroll through the video to different parts of the video and take snapshots from the video and save it as images. If you don't want to use any video editing software, you can directly do it from VLC or the video player of your choice if it does support that. The most common one is VLC. So you can simply go to video and then take snapshot. Once you do that, it takes a snapshot of that and it saves it in a particular location, which it will tell at the top. Now you can look up several different tutorials on how to do that, but this is the simplest way. The other way that I would recommend personally is that if you're using Adobe Premiere Pro or any other video editing software, you have the option to scroll throughout the video very smoothly, look at different scenes and choose what you like. Let me share with you what I mean. So I'm going to quickly open Premiere Pro, just create a brand new project by clicking on New Project. Let's name the project Action Sequence and choose where you want to save the project by clicking on Browse and hit OK. Once your project is up and ready, just drag and drop in the video file into the timeline. Now keep in mind, you don't have to do any of this if you don't want to. If you don't want to deal with video editing or Premiere Pro stuff, you can always play it in your video player and just take snapshots or screenshots or whatever that suits you. Now right in here, you can just simply smoothly scroll through the timeline. So I feel that this is the point where I want to start. So let's say we fixed that. So in that moment, all you can do is just click on the camera button. It'll take a snapshot. Now, if you don't see this camera button, just make sure that you click on the plus and just bring the camera down here. So if the camera was not there, just drag the camera down here so that it will always be available for you. All right, click on that. Choose the name of the image. Choose where you want to save it by clicking on Browse. Choose the format, JPEG, BMP, DPX. Lots of options here. Choose JPEG and also check import into project. Hit OK. It's saved, but it's also imported into the project. So you can just drag it and drop it right there. Now what happens is you have the flexibility to see how the previous frame was. Select that image and then just simply decrease the opacity of that to 50%. It would be under effect controls. All right. Now when you drag it up, go ahead in time, you will see how the frame moves ahead. And now I just want to find a point where his hand and the body moves away from the previous frame's face. So I'm going to move and stop right over there. This seems to be about right. And then you can simply delete this image. Just select that, press the delete key. And we're going to take another snapshot by clicking on the camera button and make sure import into project is again checked. Hit OK. It will be again in here inside of the project. Just drag it and drop it right over there. And again, similarly, just select that and set the opacity to about 50%. Now let's move forward. Let's make it a little bigger. This is probably the point where most of his body is not covering the previous frame's face. So this seems to be about right. And we can actually stop right over here and then just simply delete this image and take another snapshot. Just click on this button right over there. And we don't have to import it. It doesn't even matter. Once the images are ready, it's just there. You just have to drag all of this into Photoshop. Now you can have 5 images, 10 images. It's up to you. Now let's open Photoshop and simply go to File, Scripts, and then Load Files into Stack. And we're going to load those files. All right. So you can click on Browse, locate these 3 files. You can select all of them at once and hit OK. Now we want to align it, because the background and the camera is moving a little bit slightly. If the camera is not moving at all, you can skip this process. But if the camera is moving ever so slightly, just make sure that you check Attempt to automatically align source images. Check that and hit OK. So here, my friend, we have the 3 images opened as layers. And if you look closely, all of them are aligned pretty well as far as the background is concerned. First comes the one which is the furthest, which would be at the very bottom. So take it to the very bottom. The second one would be this one. And the third one would be this one. So the sequence should look like this: first, second, third. It should move forward. Now let's turn on only the bottom layer. So hold the Alt key or the Option key and click on the eye next to the bottom layer. Only that layer would be turned on. Everything else would be turned off. Now you can fill these areas or crop it. It's absolutely up to you. I'm just going to crop it. Press C for the crop tool and just crop it out. Hit enter. Now let's turn on the second layer. Select the second layer and select any of these three tools, the object selection, the quick selection, or the magic wand tool. And as you do that, at the top you will see select subject. Just simply click on that, and you can also take the time to manually do it, but I'm just gonna do select subject. Either way, just click on the mask button. Similarly, let's do the same thing with the third one. So turn it on and click on select subject. Once the selection is ready, just click on the mask button. Now you can take all the time in the world to improve the mask, improve the selection, because if you have a look, there are some rough edges here. So you can select the mask, go in there and just paint back in some of these areas. It's not a big deal, but this would be the process to do it. Didn't think it would be this simple to do it, did you? Either way, if you also want background blur, that would be another fun thing to do. For that, just make a copy of the background layer. So with the background layer or the bottom-est, if that's a word, layer selected, press Ctrl or Command J. Now, with the bottom-most layer, that's the right term actually, just make sure that one is turned on. Take the lasso tool and make a rough selection around the subject. Leave a little space, then go to Edit and then Content Aware Fill. You can choose the settings according to your preferences, but to me default looks alright. Now make sure you choose Output to Current Layer this time, because we don't want to make things complicated. Press Ctrl or Command D, and as you can see, we have taken away the subject from this one. Now let's go to Filter and then Convert for Smart Filters, hit OK, so that this is a smart object and we can change the value of blur later. Let's go to Filter, Blur, and then Gaussian Blur. Let's set it to about 20 pixels. I know there's blur around the edges. For that, you can make one more copy of this. Press Ctrl or Command J. With the copy at the bottom, press Ctrl or Command T and make it a little larger. Just hide it. Hit Enter or Return. It would blur too. You wouldn't be able to notice a thing. Anyway, now let's turn on the first layer with the subject. Select subject and then mask it out. As simple as that. Click on the mask button. So there you have the blurred background. Now you can take a little more time for a better selection, but you get the point. Now if you want a little more depth, you can also blur this as well. But before you do, go to Filter and then Convert for Smart Filters, hit OK. Go to Filter, Blur, and then Gaussian Blur. Let's give this a blur of about 7 pixels or maybe 6. Hit OK. Let's turn this one on, the second one. Let's go to Filter, Convert for Smart Filters, hit OK. Go to Filter and then Gaussian Blur again. Blur and then Gaussian Blur. Let's give this one about 3. How do you feel about 3 or maybe 2? Let's keep it 2 pixels. Hit OK. And let's turn on the very last one. We don't want to add any blur to it. And there you go. If you anytime want to change the blur, you can do it. Just double click on Gaussian Blur. And from 2, you can change it to 3. And there you have it, my friend. A shallow depth of field action sequence photograph. So that's how to do it. Just a simple little recap. Take snapshots from the video. That's it. If you want to go a little more advanced, you can also use a video editor like Premiere Pro to exactly see which frame would suit the best for you. Then just open all of those images as stack in Photoshop by going to File, Scripts, Load Images as Stack. Make sure you check the box to align them. And you only have to do that if your camera moves while taking that video. Once you have all of those images as layers opened in Photoshop, just adjust the sequence of it, select the subject and keep on masking it. That's all you gotta do. I hope this video helps you, and if it did, make sure to give us a like, and also don't forget to subscribe, and not just subscribe, ring the bell so that you don't miss any other future tips, tricks or tutorials. I would like to take this moment to thank all these nice and amazing people for supporting this channel on Patreon and helping keep Piximperfect free for everybody forever. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Till then, stay tuned and make sure that you keep creating.